Hello and welcome to every single xenomorph in the Alien franchise. Today we're going to be going over most of the xenomorph types in the Alien franchise, but also going over some of the ones that aren't appearing in the Alien franchise. Let's go. First up, we've got the ovomorph. While not fully developed, the X stage of the xenomorph life cycle, also known as the ovomorph, is the most important part of the xenomorph life cycle. The ovomorph has appeared in virtually every entry in the Alien franchise except from Prometheus, and is a thick living organism that protects xenomorph hatchling inside. If individual gets too close to the ovomorph, it releases a xenomorph inside, which becomes known as a face hugger, which we'll get onto next. Next up is the facehugger. The facehugger first appears in Alien and is a crab-like creature that attaches itself onto the host by latching onto its face and wrapping its tail around the airway. Once it has done that, it slowly releases a xenomorph embryo into the airway, and it will soonly burst out as a chest buster. After the facehugger has laid the embryo of the xenomorph inside of the host, the chestbuster will burst out after a few hours and will grow into a fully grown xenomorph. Next up is the drone. The drone was first seen in Alien and is considered to be a young adult stage of the xenomorph life cycle. It is the most iconic variation of the xenomorph and has also appeared in games such as Alien Isolation. Next up is the Warrior. In James Cameron's action-packed sequel, Aliens, the xenomorph returns with a slightly different look. Unlike the lone xenomorph drone from Alien, these hunted in groups and are known as xenomorph warriors. Next up is the Alien Queen. First appearing in James Cameron's Aliens, the Queen is considered one of the deadliest xenomorph variants, standing around 15 to 20 feet tall. The xenomorph Queen is the leader of all the hives and responsible for laying the eggs. Next up is the Runner. The Runner first appears in Alien 3 and is a quadrupedal animal, falls into a victim of a facehugger, and is widely considered to be the fastest xenomorph breed, also the most aggressive. Next up is the Newborn. The alien newborn is a result of a genetic mutation where the offspring of Ripley 8 and the clone xenomorph Queen and Alien Resurrection. The newborn was shown to be stronger than a xenomorph Queen, which it killed shortly after its birth, and considered the cloned Ripley to be its mother. The newborn was incredibly large, and unlike other types of xenomorph, it was much closer to the human appearance. Trilobite. While there's not been an explanation of how the trilobite is related to the classic xenomorph, it was seen in the Alien franchise in Prometheus. Next up is the Deacon. The Deacon appears extremely briefly in Prometheus and is known to be considered as a close relative to the xenomorphs shown in the original movies and share some similarities in the physical attributes, such as having an inner mouth. While it also elongates a skull, it is pointed rather than round, and it is implied that it will grow up to be much larger than xenomorphs due to being the size of a human at birth. Next up is the Bloodburster. The Bloodburster appears in Alien Covenant and is also known as the Backbuster or the Spineburster. As its name suggests, the bears similarities as it bursts out of the host's back instead of its chest. Next up is the Neomorph. The Neomorph is close to the Deacon, but except it's white, and it has more similarities to the original xenomorph as well. The android first seen in Prometheus, David, released a mysterious black goo chemical created by engineers into Planet 4, also known as Paradise. The results of this was a pale and white agile neomorph that is extremely aggressive in nature. Next up is the Praetomorph. The Praetomorph first appeared in Alien Covenant and is engineered completely by David based on mutual shown in LV-223 in Prometheus. The preomorph's eggs are similar to the ovomorph in the original Alien films, but his two-pedal design takes a few seconds for the preomorph to be born after the facehugger lays its embryo. Next up is the grid. The grid first appears in Alien vs. Predator, and the xenomorph drone considers to be the alpha of the xenomorph born in the Yutja pyramid beneath the Bovit Island. It received its name due to the grid-like markings on its skull. Predalien. The Predalien first appears in Alien vs. Predator and is a genetically modified thing, which is basically a mix of the Predator and the Xenomorph. Tarkan Xenomorph. The Tarkan Xenomorph appears in the downloadable guest of Mortal Kombat 2 and is also part of the game Alien DLC, while it is simply called the Alien game. Praetorian. Praetorian is a heavily featured in Alien vs. Predator game and is a boss of any that appeared in any of the films. It is known to protect the Hive and the Queen and is basically the royal guard of it. Thank you so much for listening to part 1 of All Xenomorphs. Part 2 will be released in